Who really built the pyramids of Giza? Does Thoth's enigmatic emerald tablet provide the answer? Also, did the emerald tablet actually exist? Stick around, let's find out right here in this video.
Homeric origins.
Thank you for joining me. Please remember to subscribe now for more content on ancient history, archaeology, and other mysteries around the world. The emerald tablets are one of the greatest enigmas of archaeology. They can be considered an obscure side of Egyptian mythology, characterized by events where myths seem to meet history. Scholars considered emerald tablet a legend concerning the gods of ancient Egypt, revealing mysteries involving the ancient societies that survived the Great Flood. The tablets are known as a cryptic Hermetic inscription said to contain the secret of alchemy and the foundation of the Hermetic tradition. Let's now examine the mythical origins of the tablets. According to the myth, Thoth, the god scribe, compiled the tablets. He divided his knowledge into 42 plates of emerald, called scientific principles ruling the universe. The legends tells that after the gods' fall, the Hermetic tablets were cleverly hidden so that no human being might find them. Only Thoth, on his return to that dimension, was able to recover the mysterious book. According to other interpretations, the tablets were kept in the so-called Hall of Records and then later hidden within the Library of Alexandria until they were lost forever after the terrible fire which destroyed the ancient building and its legendary books. A very interesting legend told by Jewish mystics connects tablets to Abraham's wife, Sarah. According to the myth, she found the Egyptian god's tomb and his precious manuscript during their escape into Egypt, fleeing a starvation afflicting Canaan. In that case, if the narrative is historically accurate, we can assume that the emerald tablet's origin may refer to an ancient time, substantially before the Bible's Great Flood. Therefore, the origin of the Egyptian gods and the Zet Tepi, a golden era or time where gods ruled ancient Egypt, may have an intriguing connection confirmed by other civilizations' legends. It was only during the Middle Ages that the Hermetic documents were translated into Latin from Arabic, while the first European printed version was published in Nuremberg in early 1541. The title was The Alchemy, written by alchemist Johannes Baptista Montanus Veronesis Patricius. Thanks to his work, the ancient documents have survived until now. Is this account fact or fiction? Analyzing the legendary text, questions surface. Can we assume that the Hermetic document is a real historical fact and not a myth? What should we make of the content and scientific codes inscribed into the tablet? Is there a possible connection between the god Thoth and the pyramid civilization? According to the mysterious document, can we state that Thoth was the builder of Giza? In order to draw a conclusion, it is necessary to rely on objective facts as a result of a precise model of investigation. Starting from a study of the myth, we may propose a new point of view concerning the possibility that the myth of Thoth is a true story, at least for a moment. Looking at this account, build I the Great Pyramid, patterned after the pyramids of Earth force, burning eternally so that it, too, might remain through the ages. In it, my knowledge of magic science, so that it might be here when again I return from Amenti. I, while I sleep in the halls of Amenti, my soul roaming free will incarnate, dwell among men in this form or another. Emerald Tablet 1. The Emerald Tablet 1, the history of Thoth. If the emerald tablets are reliable, what might the relationship between Thoth and the Great Pyramids look like? The first line, built I the Great Pyramids, is a clear expression concerning an unambiguous assignment of the project ownership. Her findings confirm this possibility least of all for the Great Pyramid, within which no inscription referring to the builders was ever found. The only exceptions are some symbols found on the back of the Gantenbrink's door, a limestone door with two eroded copper handles found in shafts in the Great Pyramid's Queen's Chamber, discovered by German engineer Rudolf Gantenbrink. By analyzing the signs, it can be assumed that the marks cannot be assigned to a well-known ancient Egyptian writing, although Egyptologist Luca Miatello related obscure handwriting to heretic and its meaning to a sequence of numbers and measurement by which to build the conduit into the Queen's Chamber. I consider this theory unfounded because of the lack of correlation among clues and heretic writings. It could be a kind of unknown writing, increasing the mystery on the origins of the Giza pyramids. According to Armando May, author of the article Who Really Built the Pyramids of Giza, Thoth's enigmatic emerald tablet may provide the answer, posted on ancientorigins.net. In 2013, I achieved a very interesting result which might prove a possible relationship between the Hermetic emerald tablet and the Giza plateau. Something happened quite by chance during my archaeological campaign at the Sphinx and its temples. During a moment of peace, in the shadow of the Valley Temple, I observed a Giza map taken from above, thinking that each pyramid looked like a microcosm as the satellite pyramids, fences, temples, and other constructions characterized each one. Considering the pyramids altogether, I perceived an order of factors, making them an independent form of architectural expression. In fact, pyramids seen from above look like three very large stylus wedges embedded in the ground. Their very special shape enlightened me, suggesting an intriguing hypothesis. Just out of curiosity, I traced some guidelines starting from the corners of the major pyramids towards the center of the monument, following the satellite pyramid's orientation. Then I draw the same lines for the satellite pyramids according to their cardinal direction, as you can see in the images on display. Does ancient script tell a tale? Armando May put it this way: it is curious to observe how a very geometric exercise might instill a deep doubt, challenging the foundation of humankind's history and the origin of modern societies. In fact, to detect the possible existence of cuneiform writings in the land of hieroglyphics can be considered a crazy idea. As presently known, academic considerations about Sumerian and Egyptian civilization story are very precise. In fact, they assume that during their time, the two cultures had never been in contact. With this in mind, Armando May should have given up his curiosity. However, he wanted to listen to his own instincts because he found a possible connection between pyramids and the cuneiform writings very compelling. A comparison between the pyramid's geometric forms and cuneiform writing is possible by analyzing the Sumerian alphabet containing the symbols of each letter. The possible coincidence slowly became something different, perhaps a detailed concept. Despite the fact that he was confident that scholars' theories were well anchored, something pushed him to improve a hypothesis never examined before. Observing the following image, it is astonishing to note the unbelievable correlation between some Sumerian letters and the signs obtained while drawing the lines at the pyramid's base. For example, pyramids of Menkaure, the smallest of the three main Giza pyramids at the bottom of the map, with a triangle projection towards its satellite pyramids, has a geometrical form very similar to the cuneiform letter for G, that is, a wedged downward. Equally, satellite pyramids look like the cuneiform letter for L, having three wedges downward. Armando May followed the same procedure for all pyramids of Giza. Khafre's pyramid, for example, the second largest of the ancient Egyptian pyramids, and in the middle of the map, has a little peculiarity because of the position of its satellite pyramid very close to the major monuments. It is a very unusual architectural technique compared to the other pyramidal complexes, showing the precise builder's will to meld the monuments into having a single and homogeneous design. As a result of this, the graphic sign is very similar to the Sumerian letter for Z. Finally, the Great Pyramid, the largest of the plateau, at the top of the map, and its satellite gave very exciting symbols, perfectly connected to cuneiform letters, that is, to the letter T as a cuneiform towards the right side, and to the letter H characterized by 3 cuneiform symbols towards right side. Hence, he obtained the sequence GLZTH. Originally, cuneiform writing was inscribed vertically, and in the event of more lines, they were aligned from right to left. It is interesting to note that pyramids positioned on the Giza plateau developed in accordance with the vertical orientation from the highest place, that is the Great Pyramid, until the lowest, that is the Mycerinus Pyramid, and in different lines. Moreover, as the Sumerian writings was characterized for a lack of vowels, so is for the geometrical symbols obtained by the pyramids. So far, we have observed some technical characteristics of the Sumerian writings and its homogeneity with symbols coming from graphics processing of the Giza buildings. Now, let us look at the complete sentence with vowels searching for a possible meaning of the ancient message. Gerzutehu. The meaning of the message is Tehu, the great wise. It is very clear that the word Tehu refers to a proper noun, very probably to the designer of the Giza project. To unveil the name, we refer to the Egyptian Book of Dead, translated by Walis Baist and also Boris D. Rajwiz, where the name of Tehu refers to Thoth. In fact, one of the Egyptian words indicating the ibis is Te, which sounds like the name Tehu. That word refers to the moon as measurer of the time, and that is why Egyptians depict Thoth as ibis, the language of the ancient gods. The analysis is very fascinating, but proposes a series of questions, among which are: the message indicates that Thoth was the designer of Giza, as reported in the Emerald tablet. Does it mean that the Book of Thoth really exists? If the Sumerian correlation with the monuments has a scientific validity, the question is, why in the distant past of Egypt did the population use the Sumerian writing? When one studies the origin of cuneiform writing, we find that archaeologists date it to 3500 BC. Nevertheless, it is very interesting that when the writing appeared, it was characterized by an extraordinary complexity consisting of over 1,000 phonetic symbols. Over time, the writing had a rationalization process and it reduced to hundreds of symbols. So, we can suppose that Sumerian writing was born in a very full form and experienced a process apart from all other writing forms which display real signs of evolution. Only cuneiform is considerably convoluted, or, as archaeologists suggest, rationalized, as if it follows its founder's decline. Can we argue that the Sumerian was the language used by the ancient gods? Can we state that Middle Eastern and Egyptian cultures during the pre-dynastic age were influenced by an ancient and unknown civilization? According to historians, due to its geography, Egypt was isolated from the outside world until the first intermediate period, around 2000 BC, without experiencing any kind of influence from other civilizations. Therefore, the possible corruption could have happened a long time before the pre-dynastic age. Furthermore, one of the most interesting pieces of evidence could be the numbers of Egyptian gods that are very similar to the Sumerian ones. Indeed, the story of the Sumerian gods is very similar to the Egyptian Neteru and the great part of religious traditions of Eastern civilizations. An unknown civilization seems to have bequeathed symbols we can find everywhere around the planet. For example, the winged sun or Caduceus, even the gods who have different names but similar functions. It is possible that this civilization could have inspired the Sumerian and Egyptian cultures, uncontacted, and likewise share many symbols and divinities. It is undeniable that the two cultures originated from a matrix which lived in the distant past. If Egyptians and Sumerian civilizations have deep cultural and religious correlation, it may mean they were generated by a lost civilization, maybe the same who built pyramids all around the planet. The legendary emerald tablets. Lastly, did the emerald tablet really exist? Maybe we will never have a confirmation, but it is thrilling to show the relationship between the god Thoth and the Giza plateau as a result of an easy geometrical game, which gave an unexpected answer to one of the most fascinating mysteries of the past. It is also interesting to suppose that the Sumerian writing system offered a Hermetic link with the ancient Egyptians, which was historically never detected but clear in our proposal here. All these indications can be considered very important clues and may be regarded as the starting point to understanding the scientific meaning of the pyramids and the knowledge of which they are keepers. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe now for more content on ancient history, news, archaeology, and other mysteries around the world. See you in the next video. Thanks.
Homeric origins.